Welcome back to another episode of No Holds Barred. Rob Wong and Postmedia wrestling writer Jan Murphy, pleased to be joined by WWE Superstar Raquel Rodriguez, fresh off another episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. And Raquel, now that we are 2 weeks into this, what has it been like to be a part of this new Netflix era?
What an absolutely amazing time to be a WWE superstar. I have no words to really describe what it's like, but oh my gosh, Netflix, like they just bring a whole nother audience, a whole nother like group of set of eyes to just watch us. So it's kind of nerve-wracking. You know, we go out there from the premiere and this last Monday, you're right, only 2 Raws under our belt. But we go out there and we're like, okay, someone new is going to watch us today. So we have to go out there with that mindset of like, we're reintroducing ourselves to the WWE universe and to the world, to the Netflix world. So it's nerve-wracking. It's exciting because you never know who's going to come be a part of it, especially since all of us love all these Netflix shows. And now that we have this kind of like, you know, intermingling going on, we're just very excited to see who's going to pop up whenever.
Raquel, I'm always fascinated by people's backgrounds and how they got into this business. And, you know, anyone who spends any time reading into yours or, you know, hearing about yours knows your dad was a professional wrestler. And you grew up idolizing a lot of different Hispanic wrestlers, Rey Mysterio being one of them. Tell me a little bit about what it's been like to work with someone who you grew up kind of idolizing, you know, being around Rey and your dad's influence in your career.
Yeah, I'm always just in awe of Rey. I really am. And Dominic. They are both gentlemen. They are both well-mannered. They are both, you know, willing to just say hi and shake anyone's hand that walks through that door, no matter who you are. They're both very just willing to give knowledge and to help whoever they can help. And I admire that so much, you know, and like you said, yeah, growing up with my dad too, he always taught me to be humble. He always taught me to help someone else out. I mean, I played basketball because he was coaching basketball and I needed something to do. And that's such a team sport, you know, and when you kind of look at wrestling for like the full picture of what it is, it's exactly that too. It's a team sport. It doesn't take just one player to make this machine going. It takes a bunch of players to make this machine going. Otherwise, it wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for a bunch of different people. And so I absolutely love that they always show kindness and politeness to anyone that walks through that door. I really do admire that. I think all superstars should look up to Rey and to the example that he set for us because he's really set the bar really, really high.
Yeah, I mean, if you've spent any time in the locker room of a wrestling promotion at all, there's a handshake and a hug, right?
Yeah.
That is part of the business. You're taught that
Exactly.
before you're taught anything else.
Exactly. And so like to have someone at his caliber, at his level, still willing to be the first person to initiate that, to make people feel comfortable, because it is a very intimidating business. When you walk in through those doors, I mean, I'm sure you're not expecting to see Rey Mysterio and possibly Undertaker. And now, you know, we have John Cena coming back. So, you know, try not to get starstruck when you're walking backstage, but it's a little hard. And so to have someone like Rey who initiates that politeness and that kindness, and, you know, extends the arm for a handshake. It's just really cool to have someone to set that example. Like, we're really blessed to have Rey in our locker room.
So we spoke to Chelsea Green last week, and I know she's mentioned on social media about, you know, how the locker room in WWE is in such a great spot, like you mentioned, with some of the mentors and some of the past legends that are around. Just the amount of positivity that seems to be surrounding WWE right now behind the scenes. What do you think it is about the group that allows everyone to really push each other and, you know, not to have, say, jealousy, because it is a business, of course, where everybody wants to be at the top. But it seems right now like the cohesion and the group behind the scenes is making sure that sort of everyone gets their piece of the pie.
Yeah, you know what I think it is I think like this group, especially this locker room of women, we've been together for so long now, for what feels like almost a decade, most of us, or almost a decade for some of us. And so to have that kind of relationship with these women for so long, this sisterhood, if you will, we, of course, all we want is the best for each other. You know, we've seen these other women support us and cheer us on and like be there for us when we needed them. And they're always there to celebrate our birthdays. They're always there if someone's down and needs to talk. And I think it's that sisterhood that's really put us in this position to have such a good locker room, because we want each other to win. We want each other to succeed because we want the women's division to succeed. We all put so much time and sweat and blood and tears into not just our characters, but into making this women's division as good as it can possibly be, to being the best, to being the top women's division in the world. And I think we do have to credit some of that to being there for each other and wanting to support each other and putting our feelings aside sometimes when it's not our time to shine, and supporting that sister whose turn it is to be at the front of the spotlight. It's super, super important. I think that's what's really built this locker room to be as strong and as powerful as it is, because we have each other's backs. You know, put characters aside, put all of our problems or issues aside. We go out there and we want to perform to our absolute best because it's what's best for the division and not what's best for us. And I think that's what really makes us all different.
Raquel, it was a year ago now that you announced that you had mast cell activation syndrome, and you missed a couple of periods of time last year, but you've been back, and it appears you have it under control. Is that something that you can control? Is that something, there are things you can do to prevent flare-ups, if that's the right word?
Yeah. So when I announced I was diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, my doctor was sure of it. But when I went and got blood work done, it was telling me different things. So at the end of the day, I don't really know what I was diagnosed with. No doctor really diagnosed me with anything specific. It was like my nervous system just shut down from a lot of, just things that were going on in my personal life and things that were going on in my business life. And my body was just like, I've had enough,
Right.
We're done with you. So I chalk it up to being what was like a full body eczema breakout. And I had to get my nervous system back under control. And so now that I've kind of found things that are working for me, I still get little breakouts here and there. Yesterday I traveled to Tampa to train and I had like a rash here. I had a little bit of a rash on my neck here, but I just kind of push it out of my mind. I know what foods trigger it or make it worse, because nothing really triggers it. I can eat whatever I want, but some foods will make it worse and amplify it if I have it. So I just stop eating that. I do a little bit of like yoga meditation, and I just try to get it out of my mind. The less I can think about it, the less I want to scratch it, the more it goes away the next day. So I have found a way to kind of like work with it and use it, I guess you can say, to my advantage when it does want to break out. But other than that, I've been perfectly healthy. Thank you so much. And yeah, it was a long year for me last year. It really taught me a lot, but I'm glad that I'm on the other side of it and I'm able to keep performing and keep doing what I love and not worry about having like another huge swelling episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I look, as someone that has lived with eczema their entire life, I can definitely, relate on a certain level with what you dealt with last year. So since you've been back, you've been part of one of the hottest storylines in WWE with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Dom Judgment, and yourselves. What do you remember about when they first told you were going to be added to this? And what's it like being thrust into the middle of something that just has so much momentum behind it?
Oh, when they told me I was going to be a part of this, I was so excited. I was so excited because, as you guys know, I've built a relationship with Rhea, as my foe, as my friend. And so working with her, I always enjoy working with her because she's such a big superstar. And watching Liv from home and watching her grow from my tag team partner to becoming this bad little güerita that is like, the best women's world champion in history. I'm just so excited for her. I'm so proud of her. And to know that I get to go and be a part of that too. I am just starstruck for these two women. Like, they have built themselves up by themselves to be these mega stars. And I absolutely love watching their story. I think we all loved watching their story. So, getting to be put in that and having Dominic there too, just to like joke around with, it's been really, really fun. I've been so blessed to be a part of this story. I'm just so excited thinking about it because I love working with these people. And I'm just so grateful. And honestly, being thrust into it, I wouldn't have had it any other way. I was like, yes, please put me in it. I want to be in the middle, in the mix, in the heat of things right now because I just missed it so much. And so being put in that position, I'm just having the best time of my life. I mean, I honestly, I don't think this smile is real. You can't take it off my face any other day. I'm having so much fun with my friends, traveling, getting to wrestle, getting to be mean. Like, I absolutely love being this big bully. It's a big turn for me, and I think it's actually healthy for my mental health too.
That's fantastic. Last one from me, Elimination Chamber, a match you have experienced. Toronto on a very big stage. It has not been at Rogers Center in like 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big deal. Are you looking forward to that and how, being a part of that event again?
I love Elimination Chamber. Yes. Put me in a cage. I think I've said this before. Like, I feel like I thrive in cage matches. Anything that has to do with containing me in the ring, good luck, because I love using the cage. I love using what I can to the best of my ability. And Elimination Chamber is just such a fun match too. And I've gotten to do it about 2 times now. And I feel like, yeah, I want to go for a 3rd time for sure. And I love Toronto. Canada has some of the wildest wrestling fans. So yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. And I can't believe it's already coming up this quickly, because I know last year's was in Australia, which was huge. And I kind of had my home thing going on with my health, but I'm feeling so good now. And I'm ready for like a redemption round, and I think this is my redemption round.
Absolutely. Last one for me as well. I mean, when it comes to the actual match itself, it's a long match, of course, and for you in last year's, there was some waiting. I think it was about 20 minutes or so before you actually got into the ring. But what's the process like of actually entering that match and sort of awaiting your turn? What are you thinking about? Are you just kind of concentrating on what's happening in front of you? What's going through your mind as you await your turn in that match?
Yeah, last year, what was going through my mind was trying not to sweat too much because it was so hot in Australia. And thankfully, they were able to put fans in there for us. But also because my skin was reacting, and the heat and the sweat makes it react more. So I was like, just relax. We're going to be okay. We're going to go in there soon and we'll sweat then. We don't need to sweat now. We don't need to get worked up now. But honestly, I feel like what goes through your mind when you're waiting is like, ooh, open my door already, because I get so angsty. I just want to get in there and I want to get my hands on someone and I just want to like just tear things apart. But I feel like that's probably good. What's going to be my mindset this year is I'm just going to be sitting there like twiddling my thumbs. Like, is it my turn? It's my turn, right? Let me in. I'm ready. So it's just such a fun match to be a part of. Once that door opens too, you're like, yeah, like an evil laugh comes out pretty much. That's how I picture it this year.
Well, we're excited to hopefully see you in that match come March. And thanks so much for doing this today, Raquel. We really appreciate it. Glad to have you back and thriving right now in the WWE. Thanks so much for this.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.